Hello friends, this is Tattoo Shop Talk, weekly-ish web show about random chit-chats and conversations that usually happen in tattoo shops. If that's your kind of thing, hit you know what button and that bell next to it. And today we have this guy.
Hello.
Hello, and we will talk about hopes and dreams of young Jadis, also known as tattoo artists. Recently, I got a message from young gentleman who's really excited about tattooing. He have great plans of learning it and being the artist of tattooing, and his future plans are learn tattooing and travel the world and work different places. And I found that enthusiasm very exciting. Yeah, I'm really happy for the guy and I hope he makes it. And working in shops around 10 years.
It seems like a long time since you had them plans the first time.
Yeah, and you also kind of see people like change a bit. Like they get all like, yeah, and then they kind of
So passionate the first 6 months and then fuck it all.
I think first 2 years might be those
Yeah.
most motivated or
Yeah,
something.
I think so.
So tell me about your first. You had apprenticeship, right?
Yeah, we can say that.
Ish.
Yeah, I started a bit over 6 years ago. Kind of got lucky about finding apprenticeship. I didn't ask about it. I just got it kind of handed to me, but I had to, work for it. So that was good, and I was all dedicated and thought like I'll conquer the world with this team, and it will be so amazing and epic. After like a year and a half, just making coffee and doing phone calls and not really doing anything tattoo like, I kind of lost a bit of hope, but I wanted to stay enthusiastic and
lost the spark.
Yeah, but I kept going, and first apprenticeship didn't work out, so I was like, okay, I'll do it again, and I'll find somebody else that will take me in, and then I got a bit more motivated again because I thought, yes, this is second try is the charm, like this will be my year.
And I think in the beginning you want that action, and you're like, ugh.
Yeah, you just want to do something. Everything is so exciting, and I also remember in beginning, like every small thing, like helping out with stencil and doing copies or tracing stuff or even getting to apply a stencil was magical. When you finally get into that action, it's like, oh.
And after your apprenticeship, when you started to work, what was your plans for first 2 years? Let's say what?
I can't actually remember like specific things, but I just wanted to be able to do it every day. I think like having customers every day and being able to talk to customers and just have a fun every day.
Yeah, I've seen usually in the beginning people are like focusing on that, like I want to find my own style and be that all unique artist, and people will come and appreciate my art, and then it's kind of
I think
the first artistic kick, and then after a while it eases off, and then people get a bit more like sort of
like they awake, they see what's going on, and like
they take it also a bit more as a job.
Yeah, it's a job, it have ups and downs like everything else, and it's not just like in TV shows.
And later on I think it also kind of like you find your own style kind of without worrying about it too much, and
yeah, without working for it, kind of, or you don't have to pursue it. It just kind of you settle down with something you like to do. And
yeah, there's first artistic up, and then it's like kind of like fuck you, like you don't understand anything, and then people are like, I just gonna make money. And then they slowly develop their own style.
Complaining about other people saying they do stuff wrong. It's usually the people that say, yeah, it's my own style and I do this specifically, and it's nothing wrong with it, but maybe technically it could be. But yeah, it's a lot of them new beginners that's like a bit full of themselves.
What's your future hopes and dreams and plans at the moment?
I think now I want to do that traveling stuff. I feel like it's just a good way to meet new people and seeing new things and Also that style thing, like I'm interested in all styles now, so it would be nice to talk to somebody that's really good at any style, and I can like get pointers from them, other than just getting pointers from like the best people I know around here, you know.
Yeah, well, you can always learn
Exactly.
even a little bit, but you can.
Yeah, like that, but also just, you know, common stuff like how they set up their station, or how they do stuff to be more efficient, or you know, all that stuff is something you can always learn a bit more about.
All the little things.
Yeah, so that's my motivation now. I think just also to travel the world and see how clients are everywhere, like seeing how busy places are, or like what people want and what they need. And
Also, places are run differently, so
Exactly.
you go to places and you're like, oh,
yeah,
this is how you
this-
approach customers. This is how you
yeah, exactly.
work on design.
And yeah, and also like, okay, so people hear like this stuff more than what I'm used to or something. So I think that would be fun.
For myself, at the moment, my hopes and dreams are just to master some styles and be comfortable with what I'm doing. Because, like, you know, there's some stuff when you're like, oh, okay, I can do this. But it's like, there's some things where you break a little sweat when somebody's like, can you do that? And you're like, I think I can.
It's the funniest things are when you think you can do it, and then you kind of realize halfway through that you have no idea of what you're doing, but you still have to go because people expect it from you. Like that's when you learn
That's them
about
little,
yourself, you
that's
know.
them little panic attacks. Or
Yeah.
sometimes it's like the placement when you're like, oh,
Yeah, that's when you grow.
I've done this design like 100 times, and then
Easy
you
peasy, and
then you get jumpy customer with that on ribs or something, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
how come this easy thing turned into nightmare? Yeah, that's another thing. So I want to add more techniques, more styles, also placements, so I can be
so you can get comfortable.
comfortable. Yeah, it's not like, whew, that's the thing. And I think I did my traveling a bit. Haven't traveled.
You did it in the beginning.
Yeah, I started with traveling and all that. Yeah, it's also people like customers, because like in here, I don't know if it's Denmark in general or this shop where people kind of trust the tourists, and there's some places where they're like super specific. They're like, I want this.
I don't know if it's specific for Denmark. In general, most people like trust tattooers, no matter who they are, or like just as long as they in a tattoo shop, they kind of rely on you as artist.
Yeah,
But I don't know if it's only Denmark or it's like in Europe.
in London, but that was like 5 years ago or something. People were like specific. They're like, I want this and I want that. But maybe it was influence of shows where they like, you know, like, oh, you have to find and this is the meaning, and like you can try all
Yeah,
you
that-
want. They're like, mm-mm.
That stuff, luckily, I think, is being like dimmed down a bit. You know, it doesn't have to.
Or maybe
Every
it's the
line
kind of
into two.
customer. Because then like dudes who work there, they kind of got into their own style, and people were asking them for what they can do.
Yeah,
and then they were a bit more open. But maybe it's just like when you deal with, maybe it's kind of people.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Maybe.
Hopes and dreams. Back to hopes and dreams.
Hopes and dreams is to conquer world and live on sun
Yes, and shoot lasers from your eyes.
or fingers.
I shoot
You
eyes.
should.
Yeah.
You put it in.
Yeah. That stuff. The shop. How was your imaginary shop when you're like, this is my place of business and artistic creations and all that?
I think perfect scenario would be, you know, people working in a shop should be kind of annoyed that they are the first ones to leave. Like they want to be in the shop so bad that they want to spend like free time with the other guys as well. Like, you know, like a community kind of people doing kind of what they want like individually, but they also do it, you know, together kind of. So also to get response and
Is it like
being in a
it's not-
creative environment.
I'm not sure if that's the word, but like a collective.
Kind of, yeah.
Collective of like-minded people.
Exactly. So it's just like a super creative environment where people do all kinds of stuff, but it's kind of in the same, like it have a connection. So yeah, like you feel like bummed out, you have to leave the place.
So was it like that? Was the shops you worked at like that? Was
Never-
many shops you worked like that?
Never really, but I'm hoping that with a bit of my own influence, I can kind of be able to work my way that way, you know. But it's difficult also because people are very different, and you can't live and make money on just being in a creative environment. You know, you have to work as well.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I see like in shops often it's like a computer game. You have those different characters.
Exactly.
And one can do that and one can do that, and like one is more social and one is like specific in that style and one is that. So.
One is quiet, never
Yeah.
speaks, just
But it's
bit weird, and yeah.
but it's not usually like a unit. It's usually like there's very different opinions often, but
Yeah.
but you can still pick up like being in that environment. You can
Yeah, I just think that the most important thing is to find somebody that kind of works the same way as you do.
or
Like-
the same way you want to do.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that you work in the same hours if you don't want to. Like it doesn't. But just as long as you treat things and people the same kind of way, then it's basically the same. If you using different machines, it doesn't matter. If you work later in the day than others, it doesn't matter. But you know, as long as you have the same kind of idea of what the job is about, then
Yeah.
I think it's like that's the key thing in it.
Yeah, also I think in this industry it's so kind of individually based because
Yeah.
even like if you say like apprenticeship is way to go, but anyway like there's some guidelines, but every person will teach person
Differently.
how they think.
Yeah.
Or they're like, you know, maybe
Yeah, and also maybe people have been in apprenticeships themselves and they want to improve on that. So they teach differently than what they learned, and then
yeah they
You
think
know,
maybe that
then
was
the new guy learns completely different, but because he thinks that that's the right way to do it, you know.
cool. What else is there? What about hopes and dreams, illusions, and maybe what worked up to your expectations from customers? Because I know many people are like, again, they want that, like, you know, I'll get my style, I'll get my customers, I will have one huge session a day, I will have consultation like week before, then I'll have day for drawing, and then I'll do this and that.
Yeah, like all of them things I have been thinking about. You know, it kind of seems cool to do all that stuff, like answering emails and doing drawings and all that in one day. But man, I don't want to. Seems like such a lot of work ahead. You know, I don't like to be that far ahead in life.
And also, I think that's also you need money at some point.
Yeah.
So
like
you-
just to keep the business running, and
Yeah.
like a day should be no problem for you.
Because like if you are, like again, maybe later on in career when you're the one, and like you know you have your own operation running,
Yeah.
and you can have 2, 3.
You have
maybe
apprentices, maybe you have
Yeah,
all
yeah.
the stuff going for you. You can.
So you can work for a couple days a week,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
one day you can organize stuff, and one day you can paint, and one day you can go fishing. Okay, so you can snowboard.
Oldest.
You can be oldest one day, and
Yeah,
then you can go meditate and be other guy one day. But
yeah,
I
but
think
like all that stuff. I don't know what I thought in the beginning, like how it would be, but I thought that because at the time I started, Odense was pretty busy with people, so you had a lot of tattoos to do all the time.
you have less shops as well.
Less shops and just more work, and people were so interested in it because like all of that, like TV shows and all that. So it was
And
a
I
big,
think also
big
that-
deal, a big hype, you know.
That custom stuff was kind of like new. Like,
Yeah, it was like, oh shoot, he can do freehand with just markers. It's insane. And yeah, so I thought that things would be pretty busy because it was. So I never really thought that I wouldn't have nothing to do, or like I had to, you know, go out and get customers myself or anything. So yeah, I kind of just went on with the flow of things, and never thought that how I would be in it myself at one point. So yeah, expectations were a bit high maybe at the moment.
Yeah, also I noticed with like dudes working with when they like they start to like kind of, first they're like, I want to do everything and I want to learn everything, and then I think they also make enough money, they buy their machines, and then they start to focus on their own stuff. At some point they maybe focus it a bit too much, and they're like, oh no, it's still a work, like, you know.
Yeah, I think maybe, like you say, the first couple years, you think everything is exciting, also just because every time you get a chance to do it's amazing, so you'll do it all, and you'll take on too big of jobs that you can pull out, and, you know, you have to work a lot. But I see a lot of new tattooers now, they just focusing on the one thing. I think also apprenticeships kind of focus on one style or something they can do, so they can get into work quickly and make money and fame and all.
Fame is important.
Super famous.
Also, like that thing, like you say in the beginning, you find things interesting, like any tattoo, like.
Yeah, you don't care.
Like, I know people like, there's that, like, oh, tribals are so outdated, but when they start, they're like, okay, I'm
Let's
practicing
do it. Yeah.
lines, I'm practicing coloring in and all that stuff.
Yeah, but I think it's more cool for your master to see you doing a tribal.
Yeah, just
Because you yourself in the beginning, you don't think about, you know, colors and how to pack color and how to do good lines and all that stuff. So maybe you won't see it as so much fun as your
yeah, but
teacher will.
Also, like, tribal, I think, is like, people can hate on them all they want, but that's where you can tell what are you made of, because it's not just a tribal. Like,
It's not. You can clearly tell if people have what it takes or not.
yeah, because it has to be colored
Flawless.
in and like all that.
Have to fit. It have to be fucking spot on. You know, it have to be amazing.
If it's some freehand situation, it have to flow, because, like, you know, it's not that just something randomly placed.
So I have like great respect for tribals. I think they're amazing. I don't want them myself, but
I want now, but I want, because it's hipster.
I also just, you know, the nostalgia about a classic tribal. It's so old school. It's cool again. You know.
Yeah. It's
So amazing.
made full circle. About customers, yeah, like about how you design. The part where people, every now and then you hear a tattooist complaining about customers. And again, that's also like it's a phase. It's in between when things like they stopped being exciting and you don't take it as a job, and then you complain about it.
Yeah, or maybe like sometimes when you feel a bit too confident in your work and you have to do something you feel don't deserve your attention, you know, then you feel like, this is so stupid. I have to dumb myself down to do this kind of work, and
or somebody disagreed with your idea.
yeah, like you have had an idea and people shoot it down, and you're like, oh man, because you don't know anything.
Plus, you could always say, no, I'm not doing this, but it's a customer, it's a job.
Money is money.
Yeah, so you're like, then people. My idea, because usually that's like that 3-4 years in tattooing gets like very dramatic for many people.
But also, I would say with that thing that also sometimes you have to argue with a customer about getting a right tattoo or something they want, you know, and it's difficult not to tread anybody on their toes. Like, you know, you don't want to insult them, but still you.
Yeah, often it comes down to like
It depends on the situation.
Yeah, and on your skills of explaining stuff and making people understand. Yeah, it's like I said, I see it coming and going, that stuff, because people are sometimes, and then after that they're like, oh, this is work, you know, I do best for the customer and all that, and then they're more chilled. But like, if you are like studying something, whatever, mechanic or accountant or lawyer, like you spend like 4 years in school before you get to that stuff to do.
Yeah,
like you get some internships as tattooer.
You're just in it.
Like after 3 years you're in it and you're like, no, this is all bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, come on, give it some time. That's kind of interesting. But also I think it's less with people who had apprenticeships. Because in that apprenticeship there's there's your master who will tell you to chill the fuck out, or you can't afford to be a whiny little kid like, this customer don't like me, like, yo.
Yeah, then you just get slapped in the face.
Yeah.
You know, like, stop being a girl. If you are a girl, then stop being something else, like a lemon.
A sissy boy.
Yeah, maybe. I think you're right about that point, because a lot of people just self-taught, having friends as customers for a couple of years, then they starting to get like actual customers, and they starting to complain because they don't know what you do, and you have to explain yourself, and oh man.
We had that one dude who he's doing all that realistic stuff, and he's good but slow. But anyway, like when he was here, he was nobody asked for that guy specifically to book. They just asked for realistic stuff, and he was being like super dramatic. Like he was like mid-session standing up, like, "Oh my God, why you choose me if you don't like my art," and all that stuff. And I was like, "Dude, why are you so dramatic?" And then we talked, and he said, "Well, probably because he have his own shop, and in where he's from, people know him, and they go to him because of his stuff. And here he's like, people are just like, no, I want that stuff, and like, I booked because I need somebody who can do it." And he was like, ah. That was only time I've seen person mid-session standing up, walking around shop like, I'm like, man, chill out.
Chill out, man. It's just a tattoo.
And that customer also was like, he wasn't like
freaking out almost.
No, he was like just trying to be nice. He's like, yeah, but I like this part, and I'm already like kind of going more your way than my way. And the guy's like, no, but this is my shit. But he's
some tattooers. They own the tattoo.
And
they
also
don't care.
like I heard that he's been like people who know him from like 2 years before when he was just starting. They were like, yeah, he's really cool, he's really humble, and like he's doing, and he's like,
so he
cool.
Changed in like a 5-minute turn.
Two years, he's like this drama queen, like almost like wanting to quit half session. Like, if you don't like my art, why you choose me? I was like, dude, nobody chose you. You're just like a realistic guy.
You just got some work in. Just chill, But you know how it is when you enlightened by God of drawing.
God of creativity.
Yeah, you have to.
When Moose hits you, you're like, Moose slaps you in the face, and you're like this.
Oh. What to do, man? Like, you can't do anything. You just have to act out like
hopes and dreams sometimes.
Yeah.
What it's called, backfire on you.
But actually, that's one of the things, like expectations and all that stuff. Like, I never thought that so many tattooers were bonkers in their mind. So many extreme types of people. People can be humble and great at what they do and like kind and all that, but so many extreme types of people,
I was talking with one guy who was into organizing some tattoo convention.